Hello, and welcome back to another video. Probably the first of two this week alone. And that's exciting, and I'll tell you why at the end of the video. So, for this particular video, as you saw in the title, we are talking about Super Smash Brothers. One of my favourite fighting game franchises, one that a billion people have talked about over their time on the internet. And you know what? That's fine by me. That's fine by me, because I've got my own stories. I've got my own stories with each game in the franchise. My likes and dislikes, if you're interested who I main, really depends on the game. One consistent fighter throughout pretty much every single one. It's Captain Falcon. Of course it's Captain Falcon. Everybody likes Captain Falcon, unless you don't like fighting up close and personal. But there are some others. Ooh, I didn't grab that one. There are some others. Of which I do have Amiibo for. So we'll get into that. we will certainly get into that. So I'll start with the first game. The first game is not the first game I played. It's not the first game I played, but it is the first game in the series. Not a bad game. Super Smash Bros. on the N64. Very different. Very different. Plays very heavily into Masahiro Sakurai, who was the developer of Smash Bros. And the creator of Kirby at the grand old age of 19. Bastard. And then proceeded to make probably the most popular fighting game franchise on Earth. And I mean, because unlike, say, Street Fighter, or King of Fighters, or Mortal Kombat, or Darkstalkers, for the few of us who remember Darkstalkers outside of collab Capcom fighting appearances, Smash Bros. Is one that appeals to casual fans very heavily. It is, as far as Masahiro Sakurai is concerned, a party game first. It is a game dedicated to having a good time. And indeed, whenever I have people over, I'm like, do you guys want to play Smash? The answer is, yeah. Of course they do. Of course they want to play Smash. I've made people play this a few times. Used to run a gaming society at university. And this was often a contender. This game's still quite expensive. At the time, it was about 40 quid. Even now, about the same pricing. Not a bad game. Not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. Very limited roster. Very limited. About 12 playable fighters. Nez, Mario, Dr. Mario. I want to say Bowser, but it's not Bowser. Donkey Kong, I think. Pikachu, Kirby, Captain Falcon, not Falco. Fox from Star Fox, and Yoshi, I believe. I believe those were the original 12. I think that was it. Yeah. But if you want this, if you want to play this game, but more expanded, more in line with, say, Smash Bros. Ultimate or any of the more recent ones, I'd heartily recommend the Smash Remix. So Smash Remix is a mod. I can't remember the name of the development team, so sorry to those guys. I'll link their YouTube below in the comments, because they're pretty good, and they only recently got all their videos back because it was wiped. Their whole channel was wiped after the after I think probably somebody at Nintendo brought down the ban hammer. But they're back, so that's good. Yeah, they've added new playable characters. Banjo-Kazooie recently. They added in one of the prototype characters from the original Smash Bros. Demo, or beta, or whatever you want to call it, before they started adding in other Nintendo characters, so that's pretty cool. Goemon, I'm not too sure what he's from. I believe, as far as I'm aware, they added in the piano from Super Mario 64. I could be wrong, they may have removed him, but he was in there, so that was fun. Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day, obviously. Would be nice to have Joanna Dark in there. I think that'd be a hell of a lot of fun. Oh no, Samus. Samus was the other one. Yeah, no Bowser. No Bowser. Bowser's in Smash Remix though, so definitely give that a play. Now we get to my first Smash Bros. Game. The first. Probably the first console game I ever owned. Smash Bros. Melee. I love this one. I love this one. Most people love this one. I think if people were to ask, or people were to say, they'd probably go, Smash Bros. Melee is the best Smash Bros. Game. It's better than all the other current ones. They're all fucking shit. Which is fine. I'd imagine it's something to do with the mechanics. People just prefer the melee-based mechanics, is why some of the later games in the series were a little focused around that. But, as that I had my own story. Oh, sorry. Who did I main in that? Falcon. Falcon. It was Falcon. It's always Falcon, for it is always Falcon. Anyway. Melee. How did I get Melee? That's a good question. So, my family and I were round about circa the early 2000s, off on holiday abroad. Can't remember exactly where we were going. Somewhere beginning with C. Doesn't matter. And we were in game. I can't remember what for. I definitely had a Game Boy Advance by this point, so I was probably asking for a Game Boy game. And what ended up happening was this glass shelf above my mother, with a bunch of GameCube shit on it, fell off. I think it was either knocked by my brother or some twat knocked it off. I can't quite recall. Falls on her head. She's like, oh god, I've got concussion. Oh god, we need to get out of here. We need to get on the plane. Games falling around her everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And she gets on the plane. And she's like, oh god, I still feel really ill. So I think she was reaching in her bag, whatever. And she pulls out this exact copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee. Game and manual included. Fuck knows why the game and manual were in there. I genuinely have no idea. But fell on her head, fell in her bag, and she had it. Now my father thought it was very, very funny. So he teased her throughout the entire plane journey that she was going to get picked up by customs and arrested. which is wonderful. Now, naturally, they couldn't take this game back. So that actually led us to getting our GameCube for the first time. My sister and I shared the GameCube. I believe they brought my brother a game, largely because he was the reason we got it, I think. But, yeah. Right off the bat, of the games we got, I claimed Melee as my own. That was mine. It's still mine. She's not having it back. And Sonic Adventure 2. Which, GameCube, pretty much, like, don't get me wrong, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, cool. GameCube was my introduction to gaming. I normally pin it on, like, Halo for the original Xbox, but it really was the GameCube. It really was that GameCube that really lit that fire in me, in how much I really fucking love games. And I'm so tempted to plug that bloody thing in at some point and just start playing Melee again. Oh, God, I love that game. I love that game to pieces. Mained a few people in Melee. Specifically Kirby for a while. Mained Kirby. Falcon, for it is always Falcon. Of course it's Falcon. It is, for it is always Falcon. I believe for a while Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers, I do have an amiibo of them over there, but I'm not going to bother going and get it. Solid game. Very, 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 very enjoyable. Lot of fun. Played it to death. Completed the story mode. I remember playing it. I was upstairs in my mum's room, I think. And I think I was playing the GameCube. And then I was like, oh, let's see what's on. And I was playing Smash. But I was like, oh, let's see what's on. I want to see if anything's on telly. It was like, the Queen Mother has died. So, yeah, that was a weird experience. Weird. That's where I was when the Queen Mother died. I was playing Smash Bros. But then we kind of cut to a few years later. few years later. A few years later, I've kind of moved away from the GameCube in this time. I'm very much in the Xbox and the 360's camp. And the Wii comes out. And I've got strong opinions on the Wii. I don't like it. I don't like motion controls. I think they're fucking annoying. I think the Wii's in particular are dreadful. Maybe it's because I've been spoiled by things like an Oculus Rift. Quest. Sorry, not an Oculus Rift. Stuff like PlayStation VR. Other things that control way better. Way better. It's very hard to go back and play the Wii nowadays. And that's a big part in why I didn't pick up Brawl straight away. So I didn't buy Brawl. I didn't buy it when it came out. I didn't want to. I thought it looked like shit. And yeah, there were other factors in there. There were decidedly other factors in my dislike of Smash Bros. Brawl. My initial dislike, I would like to stress. So, a bunch of my friends in secondary school around this time, that's high school if you're American, very good at it. They bought Brawl, they were playing the shit out of it. It played completely differently to Melee in ways that I'm not a professional Melee player. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm good at Melee. I'm good at Smash Bros. In general, but I'm not amazing. You know, I'm not one of those people who spends tens of thousands of hours playing nothing but Smash Bros. That is the only thing we play. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not one of those people. And that's fine. I don't have to be. But, yeah. That put me off buying Brawl for about 4 years. I didn't get Smash Bros. Brawl until I got my own Wii in 2014. Yeah, yeah, like 7 years after the fucking game launched. I did own it before then. I owned it for a while when my family got a Wii, and I played a bit of it. But I thought it was crap. I thought it was crap. I didn't even play, and I'm gonna get lambasted for this, I didn't even play Subspace Emissary until I got my own copy for about 12 quid out of a game shop in my hometown. And you know what? I think it's fine. Definitely the black sheep. Definitely. And I think its biggest redeeming feature is Subspace Emissary. Now, bearing in mind, I did watch the cutscenes online, but to be fair, by this point, all of the cutscenes were out. And it'd been about 7 years. So, I think 7 years? 2008, sorry. So no, it'd been about 6 years. So 6 years, height of YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, what prompted Masahiro Sakurai, praise be to him, to not make another Subspace Emissary, so we were horribly robbed by pirates. Great. Yeah. Again, one of those games where I did main, and I will freely admit, I did main Captain Falcon, but it added enough characters for me to be really engaged. And a big part of that was Sonic. Main Sonic quite a bit. So I used him most. That's what maining means, if not being clear. I don't think Bowser... No, Bowser Jr. wasn't in that one. Who else did I use? Good question. Meta Knight was banned. For good reason. He is broken in Brawl. He's the only character, I think, in any Smash Bros. Tournament to just flat out not be allowed. Like, people aren't allowed to use him. I think I used Pit a little bit. Yeah, I used Pit a little bit. Pit's okay. It's actually his redesign that led me to Kid Icarus Uprising a good number of years down the line when I got a decent DS, 3DS that my wife got me. I think that was a couple of years ago, actually. And I started really getting into DS games. I say really getting into it. I don't play it that often. But I will probably do a DS video down the line. We'll see. I'll show off all the very few games I have for it. It's mostly Fire Emblem, you have been warned. Anyway, speaking of the 3DS, we got Super Smash Bros. 4. But that came out in 2 separate systems, so I'll start with this one. This copy here is why we never got Ice Climbers in Super Smash Bros. 4. Ice Climbers will cut, because 8-man melee on this chugs like a bitch when a dual character, like the Ice Climbers are operating. It chugs something fierce, and Sakurai wanted to keep both versions very similar. I wasn't a huge fan of the DS version. I just wasn't. I think it was a tad bit of a slog. There's also the inability to use amiibo with it properly. It's fine. It's fine. It's not the best way to play Smash 4. The best way to play Smash 4 is the Wii U. It just is. This was, well, you know what, it is my favourite Smash game. It is. I prefer it. Even over Ultimate. Ultimate did a few things to certain characters that I just didn't like. This is where they added Pac-Man, who I mained quite extensively. And this is where they added Bowser Jr., who I have mained extensively. Used quite a lot. Unfortunately, they got rid of... They got rid of Subspace Emissary, which is a shame, but they added in 8-player multiplayer. I bought all the DLC. Like, all of it. Absolutely all of it. Short of maybe the Amiibo fighter outfits, because I didn't care. But, yeah, this is very good. It is indeed a very, very good game. The DLC fighters, much unlike Ultimate, were really worth it. They're all different. They all weren't just, oh, let's add in another Fire Emblem character, and let's add in this, and let's add in that. It had its fair share of Fire Emblem characters. Oh, it did. It had its fair share. It added in... Who did it add in around that time? Corrin. Added in Corrin. But Corrin played differently enough to be viable, and more importantly, fun. Still want that Corrin amiibo. Really want that Corrin amiibo. It's going to be good. That's a Fire Emblem character. Fire Emblem Fates. The principal main character. They added in Robin, who was the playable character in Fire Emblem Awakening. They didn't add in any for... What was it called? Echoes of Valentia. They didn't add any for Fire Emblem Echoes of Valentia, thank God. Because shit. It's not fun, I don't like it. But that's just me. Anyway. Yeah, so I had this at university, at the Wii U at university, ran a gaming society. Now, whilst a lot of these games did make appearances, not so much you, but the others certainly did. Melee was very popular, but the most popular, by a fucking long margin, was Super Smash Bros. 4. Massive margin. And a lot of people had Wii controllers, and they were like, are you bringing the Wii U again? And I'm like, yeah. Are you bringing Smash? I'm like, there are other games. Are you bringing Smash? Yes, I'm bringing Smash. Multiple Smash Brothers tournaments. Copious. Pretty much every other week was a Smash Bros. Tournament, and it was a lot of fun. I was, again, very much maining these two little bastards. And being really shit. I did not get to the finale that often. We had one guy who only ever came if Smash was on the menu. If Smash was on the menu, he would be there. And he's like, all I play is Smash Bros. This is the only games that is the only game I play. All I've played my entire life is Smash Bros. And I'm like, wow, you lead a really boring, shitty gaming existence. Like, there are other games, man. There are other games, and there are games that are better than Smash Bros. 4, which I will freely admit. But branch out, play something else. Nope, never did. Only ever showed up if we were doing Smash Bros. Tournament just so he could demonstrate how amazing he was, and then got pissy when he wasn't. Which was always fun. Another one, we were in the final, he hadn't shown up to this one. We were in the final stretch of this tournament between a couple of people I knew. And one guy thought he'd knocked the other one off the map. Knocked him straight off, he's gone, he's not coming back, he's like, yeah! He got back on the stage and knocked the other guy off while he was celebrating. He threw a chair. The guy who lost threw a chair, he was like, no! Thankfully, nobody reported that because we would have been not allowed in those rooms again. But yeah, Smash Bros. 4 probably holds the most memories for me. It had the best gameplay. Its DLC characters were considerably better than fucking Ultimates were. Just because they have more variety. Added Bayonetta, made her ludicrously broken. To the point where I didn't use her, which is fine. But this was coming off the back of Bayonetta 2, and I love that game. I have some stuff arriving in the next couple of weeks. I'm probably going to be doing a Bayonetta video, because I really want to talk about Bayonetta. Really like Bayonetta. Just finished 3. It's fucking shit. But I'll get to that. Final Smash game. Ultimate. Basically, Masahiro Sakurai went, I don't want to make any more of these. I don't want to make any more Smash games. I just don't want to do it. I want to go do YouTube. And you know what? Is YouTube really interesting? I don't watch it that often because I don't develop games as much as I'd like to. Apply to Atari. Give me a hit me up, Atari. Not that you'll watch it. But I didn't care for this too much because it did 2 things. Number 1, it added in every character, which meant a lot of any new characters were very specific. So I believe the new characters we got were Inkling, which, sure. Ridley, which, fine. 2 Castlevania wankers, an Animal Crossing villager clone, King K. Rool, who I know nothing about, and another bloody fucking Pokemon. Even the DLCs just weren't particularly interesting. It was people like Hero from Dragon Quest, or Sora from Kingdom Hearts, or other fighting games, but not any fighting games I give a shit about, like Virtua Fighter, which still need to do a video on, actually, now I think about it. We'll do a fight. That's on the list. There we go. Virtua Fighter video down the bloody line. Anyway, that is not the other video for this week, though. There were 2. There were 2 DLC fighters that really did catch my attention. Specifically, Piranha Plant. This is what I like about Smash. It's adding in stupid joke characters who are actually extremely viable. That and I love Pac-Man. But Piranha Plant's actually a lot of fun. He plays really well. The amiibo's cool. It's really, 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 really good. Like, it's designed well. It looks good. Anyway. The other one comes from a little Switch game that I've fallen quite heavily in love with. Since I first picked it up in 2019. And that is ARMS. That's Min Min. She's got, her arms are made of noodles. And another is a dragon, because of course it is. But I really like ARMS. I really like ARMS a lot. So when they were like, oh yeah, one of the DLC fighters is an ARMS character, I was like, yes! Anyone else? Darksamus? Okay, whatever. I lied, there were others added in, actually. Daisy. No Waluigi. No Waluigi. Of course there wasn't a Waluigi. Not a Waluigi in sight. And that pissed off a lot of people. I think if they do a new Smash, they may have to add that in. But I'm getting off topic. So, that was my experiences with the Smash games. If I had to rank them, it would probably go 4, Melee, Ultimate, DS. No. 64. Brawl, DS. There you go. That's my ranking. That's my ranking of Smash Bros. And they're fine. They're good games. They're extremely good games. They're extremely popular for a reason. But I'm going to be playing a lot more of this week, and I'll tell you why. Hopefully, tomorrow, fingers crossed, we'll see, my Polymega finally arrives. After 2 years. And I will be doing a review that should be up on Thursday. Hopefully. With any luck. If it isn't, it'll be Friday, but it'll definitely be this week. So I'm going to be reviewing every module. I'm going to be reviewing all but TurboGrafx CD, Neo Geo CD, and what else does it play? something else. Can't remember. Doesn't play 3DO though. Anyway, be nice if it did. So, yeah, I'll be reviewing every module, including the N64 one that they announced and released last year. So that'll be exciting. Stick around for that. And that's me signing off. I'll see you guys next time.